There is now. Make that a bit louder. There we go. That should be loud enough. So, Valheim. Got sound. Yeah, my mixers are bouncing. That's always a good sign when the mixers are bouncing up and down. So yeah, it's an unplanned Monday. Just because obviously I'm not streaming tomorrow. Because I'm going to see Ghost. Yes, I'm going to see Ghost over in Manchester. So there'll be no stream tomorrow because I will be busy going to singing along to Kaiserion or whatever songs they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. So I'm going to be busy singing along to Ghost. And what else is new? Yeah, Charlie. What else is new? I've got I have got a few bits and I've won something, and I have booked a VIP day at Alton Towers where I'm basically escorted around the park all day by a member of staff. Wow. So that's my other thing. Oh, kiss the go-goat. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I've done. So we're going to drop into Valheim. And you can see what I've done. So I'll put the sound on. Didn't do that very professional. I didn't fade it up. So that's still the same. However, I've renamed a couple of rides because this area is becoming the Ashlands area. So you know the area I built the top spin in the other day? I've decided to theme it for the Ashlands. So I'm going to try and get some ashwood trees in. I'm just going to plant an ashwood sapling and see if I can get one to grow. So I've renamed that. That is now Fader's Flight. And this is now renamed. And I've moved the entrance for the roller coaster. So I've done a few other things. I did these the other day. So I'm theming the areas. So that is now the sausage hut underneath the roller coaster. And hot dogs are 150 and sausage samigers are two whatevers. I don't know what the currency would be. This is the entrance. We've got a couple of ovens in there, a little cosy kitchen. Some sausages in a bin, ready to be cooked. Some bread, chest for the bread. And that's the sausage hut. So that is the old train from Mjolnir, which is now no longer called that. And I've moved the entrances around into this area, because if you remember last time, there's a few stumps left of the entrances. I've left them there as like a little souvenir. So there's those there. That's where it used to be. You see where those are? And it used to come down into this area here. It used to drop down here. And so what I've done is I've moved the entrances so they now come off the top area. So this is the main entrance, and it's now called the Valkyrie. So this is the main entrance, which goes around here like this. A little bit of a zigzaggy path for a queue line. And then the exit is this one. So as always, that's the exit, which brings you out into the themed area. And then this is the VIP fast pass type entrance, which obviously cuts out the queue line. So I've put an extended queue line on. So that's the way you enter that one. And yes, it's having a bit of an Ashlands theme. I've also put some of the bell hangers. And I've put some of the bells. So they're the bell hangers for the fader bells. So they're the ones that when you summon fader. And I've also put one of those in, which if you look projects a green light. It's better if you look further away. There you go, look. So that's one of the ones where you get the emerald, you know, the emerald flame. That's for that. Yes, you put the stands in, but you have to spawn the stands in. You can't just. So I found the bell hanger. So what I'm trying to do now is find out what the tree's called. Because one thing I noticed is, I'll show you. So if I press 6 and get a sapling. So if you notice, a sapling, if I plant a first sapling, look. If I plant that, if I zoom that up, look, it's pixelated, so it goes horrible. But if I grab an ashwood sapling and zoom that up, it's actually quite detailed. And I think an ashwood sapling and an ashwood tree are the same graphic, and I think it just zooms it up. If you look, the scale is set to 1092, so I'm just going to see if I can spawn an ashwood tree in and then copy it. So we've got the ashwood trees, but all the other trees, so the pine, same. Okay, pixelates. Same with the beech. Look, pixelates. Well, that's what I'm going to do, is grow one. So if I plant an ashwood sapling, and if I plant it somewhere out of way, because once I've got one, once I've got an ashwood tree, I can just do it. But I should be able to spawn a tree. So if I know the name of the tree, so I've got a browser open. Not that, that's Steam. I've got a browser open somewhere there. So ashwood, according to this, is a scorched tree. Scorched tree is a kind of tree encountered in the ashlands biome. They are tall, black and menacing. The crooked branches, blooming figure. Ashwood tear road and small amounts of wood. So that's the bit. Getting struck by the scorched tree inflicts burning. Didn't know that. Did not know that. So, what's an ancient? Which one's ancient trees? Are the giant ones from the swamp. That's it. So we've got Yggdrasil, ancient tree, pine, fir, oak, birch, beech. So yeah, it's called a scorched tree. But I've just tried spawning a scorched tree, and it didn't spawn. But that's ready in 48 minutes. That one. And that one is healthy. So I don't know if there's a way we can just like... Because I can't just plop a full-size tree down with me. I can put ancient saplings. Oh, it's getting foggy. I'll sort the weather out in a sec. Oaks, it's the same. There grows a sapling. So yeah, I can't plant, using the plant anything, I can't actually plant a full-size tree. So I'm going to have to bring one in. And how far am I from Ashlands if I were to fly down there and go and grab one? Well, somebody's been to Ashlands already. So if I were to fly to Ashlands, it'd take me quicker than 48 minutes. And I can copy one of those and save it. Feels like we need some theme music here. We need some... That's digital shadows. Some good travel music. I'm discovering new map, look. Ooh, big mountain. But when we have a mountain nearby, it's making me think I could have a mountain-themed area. Because it's 3 biomes. I can't because it's copyright. Because I'm not splitting my VOD at the moment, so it would result in a copyright strike on the VOD. Oh, we've got a long way to go. Just give you a chance to see some interesting stuff on your way down there, though. I'm just going to see what else I can grab from the trading over the ocean. See what else I can look at the Ashlands, because I can grab. And yeah, well, I'm buzzing for ghosts tomorrow. Ghost singular, not ghosts. Remember. Hello, it's me over on YouTube. How are you doing? Goat's over on Twitch. Ismi's over on... Yeah, well, what I can do is I can save them. So using dev commands. So we're now in the Mistlands. You see, I've not really used anything from Mistlands in this build. I've not used a lot of marble. There we go. We're getting to the... Oh, it's turning pink, look. Yeah, we're getting to Ashlands. Black Forest. So we should see Ashlands ahead of us. There we go. There's the start of Ashlands coming up, look. So the sky's going pink. Not today, no. No, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We can fade that down now because we've reached the Ashlands. So there's the rock spires, look. Now, one thing I was going to check is, because look, I've got, there's a few items, because there's those, which I know they're a bit explosive, but I wonder if I can pipette one of those. Unstable lava rock. So yes, I can, but they are explosive, so I've got to be very careful with them and keep them shielded. So I will save that. So it is hammer. We'll call that one lava rock. Blueprint saved. Just so I can spawn it. Yeah, well that's the bit I must be careful. I've got to not put them near anything too dramatic. So these are the, because there's two types of tree, look. There's that one. So that one is called Ashlands Tree 6. So let me see if I can spawn Ashlands Trees 1 to 6. Ashlands Tree 3. Ashlands Tree 1. So there are... Yeah, no stream tomorrow. I'm watching I'm going to go see Ghost in Manchester. Oh, it's a gig I've been waiting for a while. And then this is the other thing here. So Cliff Ashlands 3 Arch 1. So look, we've got some really cool things I can spawn here. So let me see if I can get them. Spawn. Cliff. Loons is ghosting us. I am ghosting you. So we've got Arch 1. Tell you what, I'll just take a photo of the bloody name because it's too long to write down. So that one there. And then we've got Ashland Trees. So I think that's Arch 1 again. That's Ashland's Arch 1 again. And then that... Yep, that's Arch 1, look. Can you size those? Yep, so I can size those as well, look. So those are going to be usable. They're going to be very useful. So is that Cliff Ashlands. So the spires are called Cliff Ashlands. Yeah, I'm just gonna set the time of day. There we go. It's Ashlands, so it's never bright. So we've got Cliff Ashlands. So we've got lots of cliffs. So is that a Cliff Ashlands as well? Yep, Cliff Ashlands 5. We've got Burnt Ashlands log there, look. It's not going to let me pick that one up though. Won't let me pick that one up, it doesn't like. Ashlands branch. Ashlands bush. So I need to be getting these, we've got loads. Yeah, so like I say, it's still dark, it's, you know, it's... Oh, no, we don't want a fat panorama. We've got Ashland's bush. No, you can't use... Lava is basically sea, I think. Also, would you really want to take lava? Would you want to take lava out of the Ashlands? I mean, they're going to add enough with the glowing red on them. I'm not going to put one of those in because those are just horrible. However, so we've got gravestones as well. So they all say gravestone. Oh, I'm on fire. Gravestone. That's what I'm thinking. Well, I can't do lava between the top spin. So we've got gravestones. And then these are the other things here. Is this a one-piece thing? No, you see, those are pillars. These are ruined pillars. So is that a pillar arch? Twist arch. You see, there's all these pieces here. And I ain't got them. So yeah, I'm not going to spawn one of them because that's a spawn a chod stone. Because if I put one of those, let me just put one there. Does that start spawning? I think it will do. I think that'll start spawning stuff. Can't hit it. Oh, Morgan. So we've got cliff, ashlands. They're all cliffs. So they've called them cliffs rather than rocks. So they're gravestones. So we've got cliffs, gravestones and archers. Right, and then there is... Yeah, they're broken archers. Is that an item? Yeah, so that's not letting me grab that either. Certain items you can't grab. Ashland's pillar tip broken. So we've got Ashland's pillars. So I need to go up and start spawning Ashland stuff. Look at that. I've even found one of them, look. Now that, if I grab that, there we go. Ashland's Fortress Gate. Look at that. Ashland's Fortress Gate. Look at that. We'll have that. Okay, somewhat. What's happening? Somewhat fighting. Is that a piece as well? Ah, that's just the archers. So we've got Ashland's Ruins. We've got loads of stuff from Ashland's Ruins. So right, let me head back. Because I've got loads of stuff. Ooh, there's another bit there. Oh, it's just an arch roof. Ashland arch roof. They've just dropped it in ground. Let's have that. Taking photos of them because it's easiest. What's that? Ashland's wall, window. So they're all just broken bits that are... Vulture straw pile. So if I drop that down, it doesn't spawn a vulture, does it? Right. Let's go back home. So I've got loads and loads of ideas I can use. Create a little bit of Ashlands. So there we go, coming out of the Ashlands now. So it's turning back to normal colour sky. There we go, there goes the pink. And I need to head a bit more over to the left. So I should pick up my line. Look at that, Mistlands. That's what Mistlands looks like from sky. Bridge there, look. Yeah, I think there's a ton of parts. Leviathans as well. I could spawn a Leviathan off coast. So you can sort of see the low detail version of the map, and then it sort of fills in as you get closer to it. Right, so the weather's changing, look. So time of day is set, I can also fix the weather. So the only bit that's going to be wrong is the only bit that's going to really be wrong is obviously, you won't get the Ashlands pink sky. But I'm thinking that Ashlands arch, would be fantastic as an entrance to the area. But what I'll do is I'll spawn them out of area and then put them in. So there's my other path, look. So if I just move over to that one now. Plains. That's the other thing I could do. Have a plains area, put a plains pillar in. There's a boat there. Somebody's sailed there. You're going to check up on our resident German. You check up on him. Make sure he's not doing anything naughty. So I'm not far away now. Yeah, I'm not too far now. So we could have the travelling music. I do need some travelling music for this game. Oh, ice cave there. And it's the other thing, I can spawn the ice cave entrance, but you can't go into it. And here's my theme park coming up. I think this is the island it's on, actually. This one? Yeah, there it is. You can tell it's on that island because the frame rate drops. So here we go. Let's drop rid of the music. So we've got a vulture straw pile. So those are the first things. So let's see. That doesn't spawn a vulture, does it? If I put that down. Because that needs to be a theming element. So that doesn't spawn a vulture, does it? And then the next thing I need to do is spawn some other items in. Keep getting that platform user ID quote failed to pass. I don't know what that one is. I'll have to look. Spawn. Cliff. So it's not that one. Frack. That's the one. Wow. So I need to copy that. So yeah, that is pretty damn cool, to be fair. As a you're coming home type thing. Hopefully I can get rid of that one fairly easily, just using the delete, but I have spawned it in a bit of a silly place. That's got rid of that. And it's not removing any coaster. So look at that. That'd be a brilliant drop down. then we want the trees, because I need to change these trees around here to ashlands trees really, or put some ashlands trees in. So the other one we've got is cliffs. Let's have a look at these photos I took while I was in the ashlands. So the one we got was Ashlands arch roof damaged. So spawn one of those. Ashlands _ roof damaged. There we go, one of those. Oof. So we could put those as like a relic in the woods. The other thing I'll do is if I'm creating like an ashlands area around the coast, or the bit of the coast that comes in, because I can put part of the skulls in as well. I think I can make those bigger as well. Yeah. Oh no, can't scale the skulls. Is I can cultivate the ground to the ashlands, which is the, is it dark grass? It's that one. No, it's not dark grass, patchy grass. It's that one, yeah. I can essentially bring it down in a stripe of that grass. And then the ashlands trees, or spawn so that's ashlands tree 1. We'll copy that one. I can drop that one around. I'll have the fire sticking out the front of it. And then I will get rid of some of these trees, because I need it to look more like ashlands. Some of the rocks as well. Be careful that I'm not getting anything on the coaster. That's got bits of the coaster above it, so I'll not do that bit. That's fine. I know the roller coaster doesn't go above this bit here. So this is a patch of ashlands. Alright, why is that doing invalid placement? There we go. So I'll get rid of all these. That one there. And then there's just these two here, one of which is really close to the coaster, that one there. I might just leave those there. Keep that as a regular area. So we are on patchy grass. So this is going to be like a sweep of ashlands coming down. So I'm going to put another arch up here for it to go through. Also gets rid of the ferns, which I love the ferns, but you know, when you're doing a roller coaster that's themed for ashlands. So I'll put the arch up and I'll have another one here. Other way around. So spawn another ashlands tree. There's no above me apart from the Igger. The big Yggdrasil tree over there. tree 2? Tree 2 doesn't exist. There is a tree 3, so there's no tree 2. So I'll get one of those. And I'll have that one copied around a bit. That one's quite a small tree, look. It's also scalable, look. Put them on a steep bit, look, the roots stick out as well. So it's like a bit like a banyan tree, that's it. So tree 4 is the big one. It's that one. I'll pipette that one. Have some of those. Amazing how just rotating it makes it look like a totally different tree as well. Right, you can tell the ashlands is quite flat because these trees aren't good on steep bends. Let me get rid of that because I don't know how that escaped. Alright, so which one's floating? That one's floating. Get rid of that. Get rid of these. So as you come down, it takes a look like the ashlands. So we've got one more tree, haven't we? Because we've got 6, is it? 5 and 6. Oh look, it's the bloody ferns are already coming back. You get the patchy grass. So you come through the arch and you're in a section of ashlands with all its associated stuff. Associated stuff and guff. That one's got its roots buried. Yeah, just not good on hills. So let's have an ashlands tree 6. I think tree 6 is the big one. Yeah, tree 6 is the big one. The big chunky one. So that's a good one. Alright, put one at a slight angle because I can tip them. Oh look, look at that dropping. Oh, that one's actually dropped into a nice place. I'll just have one there, and I'll put the really big ripped open side. Put the really big ripped open side there. Look, the drop, if you put them in place, the drop. Yeah, we're not monitoring you. We're going to block you. Well, you can be blocked. There we go. You're banned. So that's got me a decent thing. I don't like that tree there that I've just accidentally dropped in. Don't like that one. Get rid of that one. Right. So you come down there through a section of ashlands. So I just need some rocks. Some of them spires, cliffs they call them. I'll go a bit out of the way so I'm not accidentally spawning them into my view. So it's cliff. So we've got Cliff Ashlands 1, which is fucking huge. That's that one. That's bloody huge. So we'll pipette that. That's big. Okay, now that is big. Put it about there. And then just very carefully remove those. And that tree. Pipette that and stick one of those in there. Now I've got the ashland bushes as well, haven't I? Because I've got the ferns. Got the ashlands ferns, so I'll put some of those in. That's looking very ashlandsy. Look at that. Oh, let me get rid of that. That accidentally spawned in. Coaster's still intact. I'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Rock hanging out at wall. Get rid of that. Where is it? Where's its point? Those can go. Right, let me spawn cliff 2 and see what that is. Cliff Ashlands 2. So that's one of those. That's just like a small rock. That's a small rock. I can make it big. So while I'm doing that, get rid of that. Get rid of any forest rocks. Not that one. That one's going to have to stay. Get rid of these stones. Get rid of that. That one can go. That one can go. And that one can go. Can't get rid of the ones under the track. Some of those. It's like a screen. Right, we've got graves as well and other rocks. So let's get the next rock. That's the one I've just spawned, so that needs to be deleted. So Cliff Ashlands 2. Let's try 3. There isn't 1 3, there's arch 1. And score 1. Which is that one. So that's the one I've just... That's the one I've spawned. Oh great, I'm going to have a right job getting rid of that bad boy. There's the origin of it. It's there. Oh, easy. One end. So, cliff 4. Oh god, that's big. Where the... Oh, that's a big one. That's a biggie. Oh, hello, Vic. Hello. Thank you for the raid. It was very quiet because it was an unpredictable one. But thank you for the raid. I'm building again. I'm spawning some Ashland stuff into my theme park to try and make it look a bit more theme parky. So I'm going to screen that off because I want to keep that arch there. I want to keep that circle there. How are you doing anyway? Have you had a good stream? You had a good stream, Vic. Let's put one of those at a skew angle as well. Put one down here actually. Evil goat pointed a gun on my head and said, "Raid or else." Okay, well, or else. Or else. That is a celebration and I need to open a beer, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't expect many in because it's like... I mean, Tuesdays are always quiet for me. They're always a quieter stream. Possibly because I don't wear latex. Possibly. But, celebration beer. I've got to remember to open the right... Oh, I got the right one on my penknife the first time. So I'm having a Cobra. But yeah, I'm building leftover pasta. I'm restauranting me tomorrow because I'm seeing Ghost. I'll be in Manchester. One of those would be actually suffice as a piece for the side of that as well. In fact, I could have the track rise out of it like that, look. Right, I need to get rid of that one because that one's ginormous and silly. Where is it? Where the hell is the bloody origin of it? Got it. Because that was bloody huge, that one. So that was 5. Yeah, look. Look at that. We've got a bit of ashlands. We've got a little bit of ashlands in the meadows. With the meadows music. So yeah, they're working out well. So I'm going to put some graves in. Because we've got all the graves as well. But I'm just going through the cliffs now. There's one of them. I'm just going to move well away because there's one of them. I think it's huge. So it's cliff. Ashlands, sports, it's spawn, Ashlands, cliff, it's cliff, that's it, cliff Ashlands. So we've got 6, which is a rock. So 6 is just a lumpy round rock. So that one's quite a usable one actually. Because some of the other ones were a bit... That one's beautiful, but not very usable. I'll rock that towards me. I can put some of those end on as well. Roll them up like that. But yeah, I've got all these... I've got all these rocks, because I've spawned them all now, you see. If I fancy one, I can just pipette it. So I can just grab it like that. And just pipette it across. So like that twisty spirally one like that, look. Pipette that one. And run it across here like that. I'm going to rock that one back on itself. So it's not interfering with trees. There we go. So that is basically how it's done. Now I'm going to spawn one of those explosive, those unstable rock. So what's it called? I took a photo of it. I did the ground. No, I had to do the ground myself. So we've got Fortress Gate, which is going to be my main. Ashlands Bush. Ashlands Arch. Oh no, I copied the unstable rock, didn't I? Unstable lava rock. that one. So I've got to be careful with these, because there's a reason they're called unstable lava rocks. And that's because, quite obviously, they're a bit unstable. I'll stick one into the side of there. And I'll stick one into the front of here as well, because they're glowing dark as well. So let's rotate that one towards me. I'm going to put one nearish the track. I don't want them blowing up and blowing out the track up, because profiling the track and repairing it takes forever. So I don't want to have loads of them and then end up in a bit of a mess if one of them blows up. Because if somebody hits one of them, it will blow up. Put one into that rock there. But yeah, I did the ground like that. I think that is the Ashlands ground, and I think all it does with the Ashlands is when you go to the Ashlands ground, it changes the colour palette of the game and makes it red. I'll copy some more trees across now, because the Ashlands woods are quite dense. We'll have a mini version of that one just tucked in behind there. Yeah, the Ashlands woods are quite tangly. Right, graves. Right, I am about to lose my. I'm about to lose my hammers, so I'll just go repair them in the workshop, in the little hidden workshop. So let's just get the graves. So it is a grave, stone, right. So that's not actually spawned anything. Look, that's not actually spawned anything. Let me come over here. So that's it where. Safety's sake. Spawn. Right, that's world. So I've got one. So I can pipette that one now. I think there should be a few of these. Let me just check. There should be a few of these. Spawn. Gravestone. Right, we've got Gravestone Elite. Is that one? We can have that one. So that one is lit up. Can they resize? No. So the charred Twitcher one looks glow look. Right. I think I clear those out. I'm just going to leave it for now with gravestones, because I'm getting a bit obsessive with this, obviously. Just get rid of that rock and get rid of that explosive thing. But that is my little patch of ashlands that comes down the hill. So this is the ashlands area, and then the final thing I want to put in is an entrance to it. I love that though, roller coaster going through the portal. So, right. So the last one is, I want to spawn, is that gateway, which is called Fortress Gate. Spawn Ashlands _ Fortress Gate. That. Has it got a in or an out? Not really. Right, let me change the angle of dangle up a couple so I can really finally do that. So we'd be looking at that, I think. So that's the Ashlands area. Just going to pip out a couple of those around a bit more because I can shrink those right down. I can drop the size of those really small. The spires. Just so it makes you feel like you're in Ashlands. So it's a little bit of Ashlands. Right, let me get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So, I think we need another ride. Because that's looking monumentally good, but I think the Ashlands needs one more ride. And I think we need something at this end here, so I think I need to do a bit more land reprofiling. Possibly create this here as a ride area. And flatten it out. So let me go to level. And we'll level it to that there. Whatever that is. Yeah, I have actually. I've got a couple of ideas for a ride. Thank you for the slap. So the idea being that it sort of sits in this gap here. Oh, there's a big rock there. So if I can get rid of that big rock, I don't know where. The problem is I don't know where the latch point is for that big rock. That one. Get rid of that big rock. And then I've created the sort of the coaster sort of goes round on the hill around the back of it. Remove that one. I'll leave that tree there, that trunk there. I'll take these two trees out. Remove that tree. So that's a nice flat area ready for a ride. It's not going to be a massive ride, but I'm not intending it to be a massive ride. So it's going to be another swinging ride like that one. And it shouldn't be shouldn't be too arduous to build, but I might copy those ends off that one actually and reuse those. Go for a similar sort of thing to that for end of it, and then do it that way. So let me just pave that. I just need to flatten any lumps out. They might not flatten actually because of the height of the land around them. If they don't, I'll just have to grass the level that. Yeah, they're not going to flatten. So yeah, that's just going to bring land up if I try doing that. So that's got me a place for the ride. So the couple of rides I'm thinking, one of them I can build in 4 sections. So there's one of them I can build in 4 and 3. Or the other one I'm thinking is I'm trying to think of the name of it now. The one that tours near us is called Crazy Something. Crazy Something. So what it is, it's a 6-arm thing. It's another flat ride. So it's 6 arms. So we'd have 6 arms. I'm just thinking, would they be the 4 seats wide? I would love to make a ghost house, and unfortunately I tried making a ghost house. And they take a lot of room, and getting the track to work is not easy. Because to get the track working in a ghost house, you're having to hide that. Because that gets you your tight curves. So you're having to hide that in the ground for your track. With actual ghosts in it. Yeah, I would. Well, we could put cloaks in there. We could put cloaks in there from the we've got the bones as well, we've got the bone piles, look, and the skull piles. Skull pile. Yeah, that's the one. The trophy from the oh, what do they call it now? The scariest shit thing from the swamps. What's the enemy called? It's called the... yeah, I can't remember either what it's called. But it's the one that looks like a fucking scary ghost, because that's what it is. So this is what I'm thinking. Now, what I'm tending to do as well is I'm tending to put those and flatten them. Because I just think they look better. Right, so I need to put some stools in there. Yeah, what's the enemy called? So I need some stools or chairs or something in there. Now the chairs look good, but you have to put the chairs in first. So to put the chairs in, I would need some under there. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what they're called now. Hang on, I'll tell you what they're called. Yeah, they're the swamp mob. Close my browser. They're called the Wraith. It's the Wraith. Should have known. Yes, it's the Wraith. So, chair. I like the Viking chairs. The thing is with the Viking chair, position them, use the top of that as an alignment thing. And then line the V up with the bottom so they end up equally spaced. Or about as close as I can get, to be honest, with equally spacing. So I want four aside. So that's the 4. That one's a little higher than the other 3. Yeah, I'm that obsessive. So I then take those out. Put the bottom deck in, which I'm going to put, so that needs to be flat. So if I put the bottom deck in like that. Right. Wraiths like the bad guys in Stargate Atlantis. That's the ones. Right, I feel like that should be a triangle, but I'm not gonna. I'm sure how I'm gonna achieve it. I suppose I could make the. I could do it like this. I suppose. It wouldn't be a triangle. It'd be angled. 1, 2, 3. So I could do it like that and make it part of the car. No, don't sit down, you knob. So that's the way I'm thinking, so it's a bit more open. And then put those underneath there and slope them backwards. So it's like that. And I could actually put one of those on each corner as well. And then change the angle of dangle. Get the longer one. change the angle of dangle. Like that. That's what I'm thinking. That's the way I'm thinking of doing it. Now I'm going to put some lights in at source on this one, because I'm going to fill this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up, I've got a few dotted around this area, so I can pick one up, because there's some down here. There's one there, look. I want to pick up that. I'm going to put some lights in at the back of the cars, so I'm going to rotate those forward. Change the rotation. Come on. No, that's the one. Change the angle of rotation and then bring that forward. So if I took that in there, like so, that feels like it wants to be a bit further in. Can I actually demolish that? Because that's the problem with those. I don't think you can demolish them. No, you can't. You have to delete them because they're a spawned in object. And then a couple of wisp lights for some blue. Because that is essentially a wisp light in red. So that's the wisp light in blue. And one at that end. And then underneath there needs another screening piece. It might need to go to a shallower angle actually, because it's gonna. I might have to square it off more. Right, what about if I flip that over? So flip that over. Put the V at the bottom. Oh, this is a problem with when you flip them over. You don't get a snap. You don't get a snapping point. You're having to guess them. A snap! Not a slap. Right, and then we'll have one of those, which will make them look like lights. Let me just change the weather, because that is about to rain, I think. Yep, that's about to rain. So that's the basic car. That's the basic car. 6s are going to be really difficult on this. I might end up with a 4. I might end up with a 4, not a 6, because that's going to be really difficult trying to get these to work with 4. But they're all sittable. So all these rides you can sit on, all these fairground rides. So I'm going to put a piece across there, which I'll also spin forward. I'll rock it forward. Let me just change the weather. Not the right angle. Oh, that's too far. That's that. That's that one. End clear. Right. So I just need to mark a halfway point. So I'll put a piece of wood in there, which gives me a halfway pointer. And then this is the picker-upper, which part of me wants to go off the top of there, to be honest. Part of me wants me to do that. So it would go something like that. So that's the way that'd go. You're going to recognise the ride when I built it. I know you are. I know you're all going to reckon. You're going to, oh, it's one of those. Freak out. That's what they call ours. The one that goes to our local fairs. It's called a freak out. And it has this really, really dodgy music on it. I'm trying to think who makes it. The ride. So that one is slightly angled upwards. And then that one. And then that one into there. And that'll mean that the bolts stick through like that, look. Which I know some people don't like, but I think it's a nice little feature to have. Right, and then the other thing I'm just going to do is put a stubby piece of ashlands wood in there. And kick it inwards slightly. So it don't block that. So if I now copy that piece, I'm going to put some on these bosses here. Because they look a bit skeletal. They look like they're a bit opened up. So the problem is, what do I have what I could put in those bosses that would make it look okay. But anyway, I need to copy that. So what I will do is I will pipette that. Building pipette that, sorry. I will drop one out the way, just in case I fuck it all up. So I've got one over there. Right, so I think we need 6. So 6 will be... The problem is I can't see how many snaps we've got. So 6. We're talking maths here. I'm doing maths. I've got to do maths. So we've got... So 32 doesn't divide into 6. 60. I don't think we're going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do 6. We're going to have to do 8. We're going to have to do 8, or we're going to have to do 4. So let me drop the snaps down. 1, 2. So that would be 4. That would be 4. So can you get through these gaps? Yes, you can. No, you can't. Right. Let me get rid of some of these then. And I'll just make the shaft slightly longer. I don't know why I'm on that menu. I should be on this one. So it's that one needs to go, that one needs to go, and that one needs to go, and that piece there. Right, so let's make this onto a boss. So if I make that a little bit longer, that's that one. So copy that now as a building pipette. Reduce my number of snaps down. That's actually 8 snaps, that one. Right. That more works. That looks more like it. So what should be able to happen now is I should be able to get that long ashlands beam there. Right, increase my number of snaps again. And I should be able to build that up to a frame. I might need another one. So that's the maximum number of snaps, that one I've got on now. So we'll put that one to there. Now the problem is, if I go to rotate that, it's going to rotate around its axis. Now you know the ride. Yeah, I thought you would. So I'm just wondering if I ought to recopy that, put the pieces into place, and recopy that. If that's my vertical, what I need to do is put a boss on there. So does the boss work? Yeah, the boss works, look. So I can put one of those on. Oh, I can cope with him. I can cope with him alright. I reckon if I make that one a shallower angle, it'll drop nicely into the boss. I'm alright with him. So that will drop. Put a boss in there. That'll drop nicely into the boss, look. You just get a little tiny bit of clip out of the top, but we can deal with that. Right, so what I will do is I will delete all the other four, because copying that angle is not going to be doable. Delete the four and recreate them again. Ah, no. Didn't want to do that. Doesn't matter. Easy enough to do. So it's pretty much the same angle. Yeah, I'm going to Google who made them, who makes the ride. Because as I say, ours is called Freakout. In fact, it should be in our local park this weekend. Because we always get the fair at Easter. So I don't know why I've done that. Let me pipette that again. Building pipette that. That should be on a lower snap. There we go. Right, so it's snapping to that one. So that's the ride carriage done. That's the ride carriage done. And then if I put KMG, right. Thank you for that. Right, snap again. Because I want the squared off sections like that, look. There we go. So the central arm is going to be Grouston. It's not Grouston, Flametal. Which is on that angle there. And then I'm wondering if, because I've got that one. Oh, I'm wondering if I could put that one in as well. So we'd have those two stacked, and then to just finish it off, the little nubbin of that wood. Yeah, I don't think that's going to make any difference. So that's a turbo swing. So they're not incredibly tall. I think, if I remember right, this is all anchored as a T. And then the bosses are at the end. So that stays as one. 2k to rent one. 2,000 euros, I'm presuming. €2,000 to rent one. Well, I'm thinking Grouston. So we'll count these. 1, 2. When it flicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're having 8 on either way. I think that's going to be too steep. So that's 6. So that doesn't quite clear the ride, look. So it needs another one. You've got pasta. Vic's eating pasta. What are you eating, goat? You've got to get yourself some hay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try 5. Let's try 5 offset. Yeah, I'm done with food for today. I've just had a leftover Sunday dinner and a tiramisu. So that needs to go back 10. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please tell me you're going to go into each other. Yeah, they are. Look, they are. Are they actually the same angle? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll soon find out, because when I get to the bottom. When I get to the bottom, there should be the same distance from the centre line of the ride. Living it up, living it up. I can feel it. Right. Yeah, I think that is level. There'd be quite a way out if there weren't. So what I should be able to do, because that should give me a top snapping position, is I should be able to building pipette that. And just move it across like that. And then my favourite around boss. Let's just make sure it's on the correct line. So actually the line is top bottom, look, it's there. So the line is, see the blue thing? That's the line. It's the blue thing you're looking for. It's the blue circle. So we'll put a couple of those either side. So, I mean, it's already looking like a perfectly functional ride. already looking perfectly functional. Now I think it needs to come closer to edge though, because I think it needs to swing over this edge. So that is looking sort of good. I'll copy that. I will building pipette that. Should come as one. And I will save that as call it turbo ride. Because I don't think I've got anywhere I can plop it. Just let me just see, is that suitable? Just plop it there. So I can delete this one. And then just relocate it before I carry on. Nothing above it. So I'll remove that one. Oh, I've still got it held, look. And I reckon if I move it quite close to the front here, so it swings over the edge. So that's the turbo ride done. Now it needs a floor. And I'll do the same again with the floor where it's got the slopey floor. I think that, is that the right angle or is that the wrong angle? Is that slightly angled wrong? That needs a twitch. We're talking such fine angles here, it's that one. Right, that's correct. So I'll drop those in first so we can see the floor level. So we'd be looking a line of ones here, which I'm not going to put a line of ones in because it takes so many bloody instances to do. Yeah, I want it to like swing over the edge, so it gives you the feeling of peril. And then I'll take the path up here, so right up at the front. Got that to remain as a cliff. So like that. And then just path on the very edge, like that. Might be difficult that actually. Might be a bit difficult. Let's have a go. Actually, see if I can do it by patchy grass in it. Patchy grass, yeah, patchy grass look doesn't actually have grass, but it still gives you the proper cliffs. I like that little bit there. I do like that bit. So we'll be looking at probably a line of 3 at the back here, or 2. Have a look at that. Do you know Viennetta? I remember when Viennettas came out and they were right classy. Yeah, there's 3 after the thing. Look, so I'm going to put a 3 is going to need a lot of things. So what I'll do is I'll try a cheat, see if this works, because I'm trying to keep the number of instances down. Because my instances on this build are now getting ridiculous, because you can do that and you just get the occasional glitch. So we can get rid of those now. You just get the occasional glitch, but it's saved like 50 instances. There's actually room for another ride up there. Can I level that? Yeah. So it doesn't matter. That's not going to level. I know that's not going to level. All I could do is restore the land up there. And I've noticed something else, look. The red one's not copied. Only the blue ones have copied, so clearly that one cannot copy as an item. Right, the cage. I'm going to put cage floor, cage wall. But what I'm going to do with the cage wall is I'm going to rock it outwards. Like that. So you don't catch it. Make a 90 degree, or make those equal. Only about that. Do you know, I love how my stream always ends up as food chat, and then I always leave my stream and I'm always hungry. You do it to me every time, dudes. So, got to do. See, I don't think that's going to work. So I think that's going to be the wrong angle. I mean, the other thing I could do is match it up to the angle. Oh, that's not actually a bad guess. That's not a bad guess, actually. If it weren't rotated like a fool, that's not a bad guess for those. I know, I bet I'm not the only one who leaves some house streaming. I'm starving. Although that I have to say that tiramisu was rather splendid, and it was from Lidl, and it came in a little cappuccino cup. So we get a free cup from it as well. Right, so I'll put those to there. I'll totally fence this side in. There's one in there, look. I can see it, but I can't get to it. You know when you drop one in ground, and you go, dough. And that's the thing. Ah, oh, look, we're not lined up. We're not lined up, so I'm going to have to do it from this end and try and guesstimate it. Or do it like that. Right, I can actually line it up. And then the entrance will be on this side. Right, so that's going to be the entrance on this corner. Normally you go in there actually on the ride. You're going into a proper one in a fairground, you head in there. I think it'll work better on the corner for me because it means I can put the queue line around here. And I think I'll carry on as I mean to go on with the queue line, and we'll have cages. Not the right angle. Don't think it's lined up on any. Oh, it says it's lined up on the grid. That's all right then. So queue line's going to be a bit easier. We'll put the queue line around here. And just need to create the second line because I don't want it really close to the ride. So I have to do that. works. Now the only thing is, we reach that bump, which is going to make the path look untidy. We'll turn it there. And then I'll probably reprofile the land back. And then the exit can be that one there. So I'll keep it on Grouston. Which I know doesn't line up anymore with that, does it? Because it's going to be a step. So the queue line, Grouston, would have to be that level. Start there. So it's going to be slightly offset from the railings, but not that you'd notice that much. But that keeps it consistent to the ride. The thing is, by the time I put the wood in, you won't notice. Because I can put wood in like that. Put wood in oil. Once I put it at the bottom of the wall. So what I could do is put wood in there. Put a half panel in. Like that. Stick a half panel in. And into there. And round here. And steps. To get you up there. Just carry that pattern on. That's the queue line then. We'll need some lighting. I've got my Raven light. I can pull a couple of those up here. Keep it consistent. There's the lighting position. In that corner up there. Oh, I've done it again. There. So that's the inwards queue line. That's the outwards queue. So let me reprofile some of this land back. So restore is that one. So what I can do is I can reset the land back to how it was. Get rid of that. And reset the land. So, yeah, it's quite a nice feature, is that one. If you remember when we built this village, in the first Valheim we ever did. You know, when we didn't know better, and we built like 20 deep bloody things all around and that, and then we realised what you could actually do. So if I do that, you see, it gets rid of the horrible. Yeah, well, that's how I got rid of all them. Because the game, it's procedurally generated, you can always get the original terrain back as long as you know the equation it was generated with. As long as you know what your seed is. And you've got to know your seed because you're playing the bloody game. So the seed is stored by the game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the patchy grass underneath. So it don't look like tiling. But it still looks like grass. We can still put plants on that, you see. If create an area of patchy grass like that and then bring the other grass in closer, it just means I can get it a bit closer without the grass intruding in, because there's nothing worse than grass intruding into your line areas, your paths. It's just like so unprofessional. Right, I think I can do a bit more terrain reset in there actually. And bring that in a bit more. Which smooths it all down, look, makes it a nice smooth line. So there we go. So it just needs a queue line up to it now. And possibly just a couple more of these rocks to screen that off a bit more. So I'll have that one. Put one there. Don't want any before the arch, because the arch isn't ashlands. And I'll put the ferny grass back before the arch, like that. And copy some trees back. Right, so that's the ashland section, so I just need to boundary that a bit more. So I'll stick some ashlands ferns in. Stick some of them things in, fiddleheads. Pickable fiddleheads I might add, because you can actually pick those. Pickable ones. See, I like that, but it's very difficult to get it to grow. Smoke puffs, now they're from we are in Black Forest though, so I can put some thistles in. So we can have a bit of glowing Black Forest from thistles. So that's Black Forest still. And then that's meadows. So that's the Black Forest, and Black Forests also have blueberries. Let's have some blueberry bushes. I think they're sideways. They are sideways. Oh no, they're not. No, they're not. They just look like they were. Fooly. And just some regular bushes as well. it was a decent gig actually. Yeah, it's nice band, decent band to work with. Just nice people all round. And the audience weren't actually dickheads as well, which is always good at my gigs. So a lot of the time I get some real dickheads. I don't like these shrubs. I know they're a bit conifery. Yeah, I organised it. It was a me gig. So yes, I organised them. Right, I'm gonna turn this into a little like area of starting. Well, let's just level that a little tiny bit. No, lower level. Might not let me. There we go. And then path it, or actually not cultivate it. That one. I thought you'd all like that one. Well, I mean, leather, aren't I? I mean, come on, let's be honest. That's what you're all here for. Leather and latex. And my incessant wearing of the stuff. Well, I think I'm going to go... You know the outfit I wore yesterday? I think I'm going to go with the same outfit for the ghost gig. Right, that is probably big enough. And then I reckon... one more. I know they do. Oh, well, I mean, I could go in full latex, but to be honest, I'm just thinking, number one is risk of latex getting damaged, because it is very expensive. Leather is actually stronger than latex. And also, leather, if you do rip it, doesn't burst in the same way as latex does, because latex bursts open and starts splitting, and then once it's gone, it's gone. Well, that's why if it's somewhere where I can't easily get to the car to go and change, because I always have a change of clothes just in case. So if it's somewhere I can't change easily, I'll try and avoid latex. Whereas if I can just like walk across to a car park easily with a long coat on. But I think I'm going to wear my long black leather coat. Yeah, I'm not making up. I'm not going to do makeup because my skin just drinks it and I end up with bloody spots. Right, so that's the plaza. So I think bring the ride plaza this way. And for completeness, I'm just going to finish those across there as well. Just turn it into like a proper plaza. I might even put a few seats on here. So that needs to be patchy grass. Just get rid of the grass sticking through. I mean, I could put Grouston steps in. There. Like I've done over there. And tilt the... sensitive skin. Oh, God, I remember that. Adam Rayner. God, you were a man who were made to wear leather. He had Joanna Lumley in as well, and I've always loved Joanna Lumley. So I'm going to do that with steps. Actually, no, I'm not. Just looks silly. Yeah, this is the problem. You've got to put Joanna Lumley, yeah. Yeah. Definite gulf going off with Joanna Lumley. She did a programme years ago and I still love it to this day, and it's called nope, I can't do that. This is the bit I was saying about, you know, with the steps. She did a programme called Girl Friday and it was brilliant. She went on a, so you see the steps how they don't line up. Look. They drift off either one way or the other, look. So they're the climbing. Yeah, she did this show called Girl Friday. And it was good. She went to an island called Sarabangina. Indeed it is. Sarabangina. Personally it means beautiful shores. And yes, that's where I got the name from. For Sarabangina, which was the roundhouse. Just because it was beautiful there. How is the fun part coming? Well, I'm about to finish the stream, but I'll give you a quick guided tour if you want. The theme park. Well, you can visit it, can't you? Because you're in this server. Yes, the theme park is coming along very well. So we have... This is the ride I was doing today. I'm just going to drop these last couple down here. Just close that area in. On this end, and then I'll give you a quick tour of the theme park before I finish. So we've got a couple of new rides which I don't know if you've seen. We've got this, which it still needs a bit of work on it, but it's getting there. So it's not quite finished yet. Yeah, my instances are getting ridiculous. We are up at, I think it's about 20,000 in certain areas. So this is one of the roller coasters. This is the bit where it goes through the fake meadows ashlands. So I've spawned in all the trees and that. I still noticed another bloody off bit there. That's the problem with this. I see spotted more off bits. So that's the ashlands bit, which is the end of the roller coaster where it drops in. Look at that, goes through the portals. So that's starting to get a bit of theming about it. Yeah, I think your Xbox would really struggle. That's the top spin. That's the Huss top spin. Which is what I built the other day with much swearing. A hell of a lot of swearing in that one. And then these are the classics. So there's the original wooden roller coaster over there. And all the other classics. That were new as well. Launch Free Fall. That's a new ride. Yeah, I've finished that because I can now do wood at all the angles. Because originally I built that in vanilla mode. I can do wood at more angles. Yeah, this is all as is, and I've moved the path from the roller coaster so it now comes up into here. And I'll quickly show you the roller coaster. So this is the Valkyrie, with the Valkyrie head mounted on the front. So yeah, it goes round here. It's a launched coaster, so it goes round here, goes into the launched, into the booster. This is the booster. Up over there. Just wait for it to spawn in. round this mountain. She'll be coming through the mountain when she comes. Nice little couple of little builds there. How high is that? Quite high. And then through this, which I thought were brilliant because it just worked really nicely. Goes between those two stones and then over that one. Just to get a glimpse of the Ashlands bit, there's a loop round here. And then it drops down, it comes through this arch. And through a little bit of Ashlands, through some scorched trees and a few bits of detritus. And then back in. So that's the roller coaster. It's got 3 queue lines as well. So it's got a no entry, VIP entrance and main entrance. And the launch free fall is that tall. So there you go. That's how high that is. And one of the things I've done is I've used those as wheels. I've used the grindstones as wheels for it. Running in the tracks, look. So I've actually managed to get them line up in the tracks. That was spawned in as well the other day. And I've made this lamp which needs copying into a few other places. But yeah, you come into there, you come through that, which is cool. And this is the Ashlands section. Ashlands land, I suppose you could call it. But yeah, it's getting there. I've got another idea for a ride in this area here. I've got an idea for a ride, but I think once I've built that, I think I'm going to stick a fork in it and call it done, because even my PC is glitching at times with the number of instances. But that, I'm still very proud of that. That took some right building. These were just... That green light is... It's from the... I'll pick one up and try and remember what it's called. It's called a charred or altar bell fragment. And that's where you get your bell fragments from. And that they're in the Ashlands. But they have a beam up in the sky. It's where you get the emerald flame things from. But they do that. So you get a floodlight. Very careful with them. But they are, just as a one-off, you know, they are phenomenally clever. So that's, yeah, and this is, oh, I need to change the name of that there, because it's now called Fader's Flight. Because I've rethemed this area to Ashlands. And I've also realised that you cannot pipette, as part, you cannot building pipette one of those. Look, they don't building pipette. You can only pipette one. Like that. So you can't put them onto a building. Because I'd put lights at the back of there, look, and I'd put a red one in the middle. And I don't know if I can get those back in again. Without a lot of work. I mean, I could probably put them in there. But they are, yeah, they were a bit of a faff. Ah, that's not easy. It's not actually rotating, look. But they were a real faff to get in as well. So that's the, that's today's project. Building that. And that's the, as I say, Goat's already told me what it's called. We've got one near us on our local fairground, and it's called Turbo. That's not right, is it? It's not finding the snapping position. Ah, that's why it's not right, because it's not the right angle. That's why. Because it's kicking upwards. That's much more like it. So if I put those into there, like that, that closes those off, look. Yeah, just occasionally you get a piece that just will not snap against anything. I think it's... Might just be because it's going too far through. Yeah, it is. The name again from Saturday. Name again from Saturday. Which name's that? Name from Saturday. You know about the band? I mean Solstice. Oh, for the top spin. Yeah, it's a Huss top spin. Oh, it was called something else. Yeah, I changed the name of it. It was originally Joggen something or other. And I just thought it, because I'd themed it to the Ashlands, I just thought it went better. As what it is now. But anyway, that's enough for today. I know you can't ride that now. I'll tell you what. If anybody does pop in. Anybody does pop in. I'll just stick them some wooden steps up for now, and then at least they can get up to it. Because I have to remember, not everybody has the ability to fly. So at least they can get up to it and go, ooh, what's that up there? What Loons has built? Oh my god, he's built that. And I also need to fill in that, because if you fall down in there, that is going to be very, very difficult to get out of. And that can be done with those tilted. Let's just tilt those down to the same angle. Like that, and just do that with them. Because you're not going to get out of there otherwise if you fall into it. But yeah, that's a turbo. No, sorry, freak out. The turbo's the booster. Turbo's the next thing I'm thinking of building, because they have a really small footprint, and I think a turbo will fit great in that space just there. But turbos are incredibly tall. They're like 180 feet tall. Right. Anyway, so I think it's time. It's that time again. I think we need to go raid out. What's who's in? We've got 4 in after 5 in. So let's raid out. Who are we gonna raid? Stick with me for the raid and we'll raid somebody. Who's streaming? My ears are clearing as well, my ear infection, because I'm starting to hear this. Who's playing? Oh, let's raid Jonathan. He's probably going to say, I'm just finishing. So we're going to raid Johnny. Let's raid Johnny. And, join me and say hello to Jonathan Raymaker. Are we good? Keep shining.
We'll get the hell out of this again. Because it gets the hell. Hey, Luna!